In this Adobe InDesign 2024 video, we're going to talk about the frame rectangle tool and the rectangle tool. So they're over here in our toolbar. Just as you know, I am in the advanced work space here. So it defaults typically to essentials. I am in the advanced workspace. So if you want to match my screen, that's where you're going to go. So the rectangle tool, the rectangle frame tool, excuse me, when you click and drag, you're going to get an X that tells you that's a frame tool. Whereas if I select the rectangle tool and I'll make one below it here, you are just going to get a rectangle tool. Using our selection tool, you can see if I click inside of the rectangle, it does nothing. Why? Because if I'll click and drag along the edge, you can see here that it only has a stroke and no fill color. So therefore, clicking on it does nothing. If you click right on the border because of the stroke, you will select it. Whereas the frame tool, you can click anywhere inside of it and it will automatically select. So that's a one quick advantage there. They both fundamentally can do the same thing, meaning hold images, hold colors, graphics, that type of stuff. But as a rule of thumb, I would suggest to you to think of it this way. A frame tool is for holding images that are going to be placed inside of here, whereas the rectangle tool should be used more for colors, gradients, and graphic elements that you create inside of InDesign. This is only a suggestion. So with this particular frame tool, we're going to go ahead and place some images in there. So in this particular frame tool here, what we want to do is go up to File, and then what we're going to do is Place. Okay, so File, Place, or Control D. And I'm going to navigate now to my brochure folder that I created. And inside of my brochure, this is my InDesign file. I have an images directory. Be sure to have an images directory to keep your images organized, and it needs to be inside the same folder as your InDesign file so that when you send it and you package it and send it to print, that it all travels properly. Otherwise, it will not work. When I click OK there, it go ahead and places the image inside of there. Right clicking on that, I'm going to fitting. So this is with the frame tool. What it's doing is it's filling the frame proportionally. So you can click on that particular setting there, or you can do fit the content proportionally. Because you notice what it did is when it filled the frame, it cropped the image from the center. If you want the entire image, you want that other option, so the fitting. Okay. If you want content aware, okay, that's basically stretching and trying to guess at what you want that fitting to be. So you can also fit the frame to the content. So clicking that, now the frame is taller and it fits the content. So you could see the frame tool, you place it in your document, place the image inside of the frame tool, and then what you could do is determine what part of the image you would like to see. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. If I double click on the frame tool and now you can see it's highlighted in red, I am able to now drag my image around and place it. So the frame tool is physically a frame. If your image is larger, you can then drag that image around and adjust the location of it or how it actually fits your particular design. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click off of that to escape. I'm going to select my frame again so you can see it's highlighted in blue. Actually, let's move this rectangle tool off to the side here. I'm going to click the frame here and expand it out. Okay, so I'm just dragging it, enlarging it. You can see it's scaling the image proportionally. So I can zoom out a little bit. So in this case here, maybe this image is kind of large, so it might actually look good to actually fill the entire page with it, just like this. And then again, fitting, I can say, okay, fill the frame proportionally, and then double click, and then just kind of, hey, I want those lights off to the side a little bit more. You can drag it around inside of there. Clicking off of it will change it. Meanwhile, over here, the rectangle tool, what we'll want to do is pull up our color options. So that's going to be under window and color. And under here, you can see you got color swatches, gradient. So if you're in black and white here, let's change to the fill color. You can basically select the color styles you want, CMYK in this case. Let's actually pick a color in the blue family. And now we've got it filled. We can drag this inside of here and it's sitting in front of the image here. So you can see uh, that it was layered because inside of our panels, our layers panel, you can see the actual rectangle was created second after the frame tool. So here's our frame, here's our rectangle. We can use the layers palette to rearrange them, and now it's actually below. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to go ahead and pull it directly above. So that's a little bit about how I recommend using the frame tool and the rectangle tool inside of InDesign.